Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Guys of Magic. This is Hunter, David, and Shane. Say what up, boys.
Yo, what's going on?
What's up, nerds?
We are back. Happy 2024. I think this is the first official video that we're doing together, minus Steven, obviously. But we're back. Hope you guys had a great end of the year of 2023. Very excited. Before we get started, I just wanted to let everybody know that we're less than 50 subs away from 10,000 subscribers. That's pretty crazy.
It's pretty sick.
We're gonna be doing a giveaway video for that, obviously. But this video is Murders of Karlov Manor. That's right. We're going back into spoiler season heavy. Speaking of which, it is day one, so we got a lot for January 16th, 2024. Let's go ahead and jump straight into it with this first card. It is the one that died. It's Teysa, Opulent Oligarch. It's a white and a black for a 2/3 legendary creature human advisor. It's got death touch, and it says at the beginning of your end step, investigate for each opponent who lost life this turn. It also says whenever a clue you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. This ability triggers only once each turn. I know we hate that last sentence, don't we, David?
I mean, we do, but you can control whenever you pop your clues. So you can do one on your turn, you can do one on your opponent's turn. This isn't really so much of a downside. At least not on this card as much as what we've seen in the past, because you can control this, and also it costs mana to pop clues, so you're not popping a ton.
There is a ceiling on this card, though, right? Because you only have normally what 3 opponents, so you at most can create 3 clues, right?
I mean, that's still really solid.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you make those 3, obviously clues, they cost mana to crack. So got to keep that in mind too, which would be a bummer if you're running out of mana. So I don't know. Our clue's good.
I mean, drawing cards is good.
Yeah.
Cards is good. But what do we think? Now that the story is out, Teysa dying. David, how do you feel?
I don't know if I have feelings, to be completely honest with you. I feel like just as like the leader of the Orzhov, I don't know, maybe there's some spirit shenanigans afoot. We kind of see some of that in the card art itself. So kind of surprised. I don't know. Maybe there's like a second Teysa card later on down the road of like her in ghost form or something.
I'm sure that will be
interesting. Yeah. Who knows? We will obviously get to talk about more as a commander later when we do our commander grades videos. Of course, we're going to be doing that in 2024, so stay tuned for that one. But let's go ahead and move on to one of the suspects, or just another legendary creature. It's Massacre Girl, known killer, 2/2 black for a 4/4 legendary creature human assassin. It's got menace, and it says creatures you control have Wither. That is right, Wither is back. In case you are new to Magic, Wither says they deal damage to creatures in the form of -1/-1 counters. It also says whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, if its toughness was less than 1, draw a card. This screamed David when I saw it.
It kind of does.
I mean, it's a cool card. I actually really do like Wither. I think it's a fun mechanic. I like -1/-1 counters in general, and I wish that they would kind of play around with it a little bit more. So I'm super excited to see this card. This is probably going to be the only card that has Wither or like gives Wither in the entire set, just because it's such a strange mechanic. But I don't know. This card is really dope. You kill your opponent's creatures off, and then you are also going to capitalize on it. I don't think that this works as effectively as what it reads, though. With this having menace, your opponents are probably not going to be blocking it, and then they are also probably just not going to block your other things. Because, like, if they do block your other things, and the Wither kills their creatures, you're going to be drawing cards. So,
yeah, it's cool, man.
You go.
Man.
I was just gonna say that it's cool that it's gonna have combat damage stay like permanently. I think it's really cool. It's like poison just for creatures, though, right?
Yeah, or Hearthstone.
Or Hearthstone. Yeah, there you go.
I like this card a lot. I mean, I kind of talked to you guys about it earlier. Toxic Deluge and Meathook Massacre, things that give -X/-X to a creature. Essentially, you're going to be drawing cards off those, and it doesn't say once per turn, so it's whenever a creature dies. So I think you can be drawing a lot of cards. I don't know. I like this card a lot. But once again, we will talk more during our commander grades.
Do you think it's good enough to be seen in Standard, Hunter?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Black has
pretty...
so. I was gonna say Black has so much like neat That I don't even know, man. It's just like there's some really big competition to be able to be played just as a black card, and
Yeah.
especially coming in at 4 mana, this thing's kind of expensive.
Maybe a
Yeah,
2 of.
we still have Innistrad standard. That's not rotating until September. It's
The never
Ridiculous.
standard.
the never-ending standard is insane. Moving on to another card. It's Kylox, Visionary Inventor. It's 5, a blue and a red for a 4/4 legendary creature, Viashino Artificer. It's got Menace, Ward 2, and Haste, and it says whenever it attacks, sacrifice any number of other creatures, then exile the top X cards of your library, where X is their total power. You may cast any number of instant or sorcery spells from among the exiled cards without paying their mana costs. Shane, you did mention in our shorts that 2023 seems to be the year of free spells. Once again, free spells are good.
I mean, free spells are never bad. There's just so much going on this card, dude. Before you said that, I was about to say this card is just like a word soup, dude. You gotta do so many things, but yeah, you get free spells at the end of it. But dude, 7 mana?
I was gonna say,
expensive.
I checked out on the mana cost.
Yeah.
Like, this card is really dope. It's powerful. It's got awesome artwork. It's 7 mana. This is in the back of like my memory bin.
Yeah, it's kind of a
But
bummer.
yeah, I don't know if it'll even see play in standard. Honestly, it could be cool in something like limited, but I don't know. 7 mana is still a lot, and it's just a 4/4 too. I get it has menace, but
Like
I don't know.
it's got the stuff. It's got all this stuff for 7 mana because it's big, but yeah, I don't know.
It's like a 7 mana thing that wants a bunch of little things to sacrifice. I don't know.
Maybe
We'll
we're
see.
missing something.
Yeah, like I said, we'll get back to it. Commander grids. Next up, we have everybody's favorite goblin. It's Krenko, Baron of Tin Street. That's 2 and a red for a 3/3 legendary creature goblin. It's got haste. Has an ability where you can tap it, sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on each goblin you control. And whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may pay a red. If you do create a 1/1 red goblin creature token, it gains haste until end of turn. Dave, you've always been a fan of Krenko.
What are you doing with the artwork for Krenko? Because I feel like at this point, it is actually 2 different characters.
This
What do you
Krenko?
mean?
Like, from a visual standpoint, there's 4 printings of Krenko now, and I feel like they look distinctly like 2 different goblins. Like, this is like, I feel like this is like generic, I don't know, Shrek-esque goblin, and then we have like the OG Krenko that is like, it's got the long nose, and I don't know, they're both ugly creatures, but like, this looks like a very different Krenko.
Well, maybe it is a different Krenko, dude. Maybe he's
He's
witness
Baron of
protected.
Tin Street, Dave.
Yeah.
Maybe
Uh,
the real mystery here is that Krenko died somewhere along the way, and this is like Krenko Jr. and
Yo,
we just
there
haven't
are
noticed.
mysteries in this set, they said, that need to be discovered.
All right,
Yeah, the
all right.
mystery of the missing Krenko.
David cracked the case already. We haven't even talked
This
about
is why
the
the
card
art's
yet, but he's
different.
cracked the case.
He's done it. How do we
But what
feel
about
about
the
this
card,
card,
though?
Dave?
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I mean, like, I like how this kind of works out whenever it comes to treasures. It's a good goblin generator. This thing has haste, which is really nice. And then being able to buff up your team is pretty powerful too. I feel like there's probably some shenanigans you can do outside of standard with this. My first thought being with like, how can I get away with Skirk Prospector? Silly little things. That way I can just like make a ton of mana and then sink it back into this, and then I don't even know what we got to do with it at that point. But like, we got goblins, red mana, and yeah, what else do you need?
Yeah,
Yeah, combos go wide, right?
you saying treasure is sick because I just realized, can't you with a treasure activate
Make
both
a
parts
red.
of him? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the one treasure activates both parts of him. That's kind of cool.
Yep. I like how he's got haste, obviously being in red, and you can use his ability immediately to tap and sack.
Yeah.
So, pump the team immediately. But yeah, I like Krenko. I think he'll be a fun commander.
Just a fun card, period.
Let's
yeah.
move. Let's move on to a guy that just keeps showing up in every single set. It's Kellan. It's Inquisitive Prodigy. It's also has the adventure part because that's where he came from. He came from Wilds of Eldraine. The adventure part is Tail the Suspect. It is a green and a blue for a sorcery that says investigate. You may play an additional land this turn. Well, Kellan, Inquisitive Prodigy, is 2, a green and a blue for a 3/4 legendary creature, human fairy detective. It's got flying and vigilance, and it says whenever it attacks, destroy up to 1 target artifact. If you controlled that permanent, draw a card.
It's pretty
How
good,
come it
dude.
said the word permanent, not just artifact again?
I don't know. If you
Kind of
control that
weird wording.
artifact.
Control that artifact. Draw a
Hey,
card.
there must have been a reason for it. I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I'm sure that there is a reason. Shane,
Yes.
your favorite color combination here
This
is
is,
Simic. Break
yeah.
down this card.
Well, let's see. You play his adventure on 2, and it ramps you, and then you have to play him on 3. Like, this is pretty good. So, on turn 3, I'm gonna have a 3/4 flyer with vigilance. That's gonna destroy stuff. That seems pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. EDH,
seem
dude,
pretty
bye bye
good.
to your rocks.
I mean,
Yeah.
even just like looking at standard and like the limited environment, the clues are going to be pushed in this set. So is Kellan here just to destroy your opponent's clues? I mean, given that they're
Hey.
probably going to have some other artifacts as well, but like
Hey, you can destroy your own clues, which makes you draw a card without having to pay for them.
That's
that
true
is
too.
true.
Yeah, I think he's got a versatility. That's the right word.
All right, I like him.
I do too. I think this might be the best Kellan we've seen out of the 3 that have been shown now.
Well, just wait till next set whenever he gets a 4th printing.
Oh man.
I know he will. He'll be in the Outlaw set. Let's move on to Judith, Carnage, Connoisseur. It is 3, a black and a red for a 3/4 legendary creature human shaman. It says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, choose one. That spell gains Death Touch and Lifelink, or you can create a 2/2 red imp creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. So are we playing Spellslinger with Rakdos?
Possibly.
I mean, it's like it's not the first time that they've kind of dabbled around with this. I felt like Rowan was kind of along the same path as like you're wanting to play around with things that are gonna like punish your opponents as big instances of sorceries. This one, obviously, you don't want to pick like cast just like one big spell. You want to do lots of little ones. There are some fun things whenever it comes to EDH that I can use that first mode for. I don't really want to dive into it so much here, but I mean, any of your like direct damage spells now potentially have Death Touch, which is really powerful. And then correct me if I'm wrong because I don't really play a whole lot of standard, but isn't In the Festivities still in standard?
Yeah, it is.
So there you go. Destroy all of your opponent's things and gain life.
Yep.
Yeah. Death Touch,
Yeah,
I think, is
did that
crazy
just
on these
make
spells.
Mono Red burn better by adding
Yeah.
a splash of black? I
Yes.
think so.
Everything is better with a splash of black.
You love the Rakdos colors. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, I
crazy,
mean
dude.
they're the best.
Well, Judith has the Carnage there for sure.
Does cost
I
5,
like it a
but
lot.
it's good.
Does cost 5. But yeah, it doesn't say once per turn either. So you
True.
just keep slinging spells.
No
Just
valve
pick
there. I like
the
that.
same mode over and over and over. Make a
Mhm.
bunch of 2/2s that block. I like it. Moving on to Izoni, Center of the Web. It is 4, a black and a green for a 5/4 legendary creature elf detective. It's got menace. It says when it enters the battlefield or attacks, you may collect evidence for new keyword. If you do, create 2 2/1 black and green spider creature tokens with menace and reach. It also says sacrifice 4 tokens, surveil 2, then draw 2 cards. You gain 2 life. What is collect evidence? Well, in this example, collect evidence 4, it means you must exile a total mana value of 4 or greater from your graveyard to have that happen.
It's like a
How
more
often will that
specific
happen?
delve.
Yeah, it's kind of, people were saying delve kicker.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's harder to get to, though. I mean, obviously, with this color combination, not so much. But
How many times do you think that this is going to actually like be able to trigger? Say, for example, like mana value of this card, like not actually being a consideration, just like the collect evidence 4. I feel like that's relatively steep. Like, how many times do you think you're actually going to be able to do that over a course of a game?
yeah, it's going to be difficult, I would say.
Yeah.
You have to specifically hit 4 or greater mana value, not like power or toughness or something like that. Mana value. So if you are milling yourself, for example, if you're milling just lands, you're bummed.
Oh yeah.
I think that this is really odd because like Golgari typically wants to not just use the graveyard, but like really be able to use it as a resource that's like recurring things or like adding additional value to like what you already happen to have in play. You're going to be exiling out your graveyard with cards like this.
Yeah.
So you are eventually going to run into a point where it's like this cannot meet that the collect evidence anymore, where it's like that part of the card is just shut off.
Yep.
Yeah.
So wait,
Hmm.
is collect evidence 4 the one card has to be 4 or greater, or like a collective
It's
of
a
cards
con-
has to be 4?
Like if you had one card that was 4,
Yeah.
and that satisfies the clause,
Yeah.
but it has to be a total amount of 4.
Got it. So it could be like 2 that are worth 2. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
It's like crewing from the graveyard, but then they're exiled.
Then they're exiled. And you can do it again. Exactly.
Huh. At least her second ability is going to be hopefully filling your graveyard, so there's that, right? She's kind of
Yeah, but you got to
putting stuff in
sacrifice
there.
those tokens you just made.
That's 4 tokens to be able to hit that second ability. That's steep.
Well, the 4 yeah, I guess you're right. It could be other things. It could be clues. It could be, I don't know.
Yeah, you just got to make 4 of them.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't think I'm in
I
this
don't know.
card.
Yeah. Let's move on to the Boros Spirit. It's Agrus Kos, Spirit of Justice. It is 2, a red and a white for a 2/4 legendary creature Spirit Detective. It's got double strike, it's got vigilance. And it says whenever it enters or attacks, choose up to 1 target creature. If it's suspected, exile it. Otherwise, suspected. What? New keyword. That's right, suspect. A suspected creature has menace and can't block.
Yep.
So you're either making it so your opponent can hit you harder because they have menace now, or you're getting through with damage because they can't block.
True.
You be the judge.
So this 2 triggers on attacks, which means you're going to be able to have their creature just not be able to block him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also triggering on the ETB. This is actually pretty powerful as a way for you to be able to push damage through in Boros. Not that necessarily Boros like really needs that, but like this really plays into the lane that they typically already pick of like low to the ground aggro. This might actually be a pretty solid choice as like a way for you to just like close out a game and like you take their most relevant blocker out of the equation. And then next turn, if need be, you just take it out of the game because you can start exiling things that are suspected.
Yeah.
Guess what else you can do?
What?
You can suspect itself.
Oh.
Give itself menace.
And it's already got double strike. Yeah, this guy seems like a heavy hitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
good.
like it.
Suspect your own stuff. Give everything menace. Granted, you'll be the block, but this is Boros we're talking
I
about.
say, who blocks?
We're probably
Yeah.
pretty aggro.
You just turn him sideways, dude. Actually, he doesn't turn sideways. He's got vigilance.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, 3 keywords. That'd be cool. Yeah, I think he's really powerful. I am pretty high on him. We'll talk
I'm
about
sure
that.
you are, Mr. Boris boy.
Commander grades.
Yeah.
Boros, baby, let's go. Let's move on to Steven's favorite. Unfortunately, he's not here, but it is Dimir. It's Etrata, a deadly fugitive. 1, a blue and a black for a 1/4 legendary creature vampire assassin. It's got death touch and says face down creatures you control have 2, a blue and a black. Turn this creature face up. If you can't, exile it. Then you may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. And whenever an assassin you control deals combat damage to an opponent, cloak the top card of that player's library. So after cloaking the top card of that player's library, obviously it goes on your side of the battlefield. So you get the ability to turn it face up, because if you didn't have the colors of your opponent, now you do.
Yeah, she lets you do it. That seems a little bit better. That seems like unless you have only her as an assassin, which still might not be bad. No one's gonna block a death toucher, I hope. But you can start stealing your opponent's stuff and playing it for 4. That kind of seems fun.
I don't know. I'm actually like I like the idea of being able to turn their things into 2/2s that are going to help you out, but like I don't like stealing my opponent's things and having to pay mana for me to like use them. I think that this card is not great.
Yeah. We'll talk about it more when we do commander grades with Steven with his Dimir. Maybe he loves it.
I'm sure he does.
Moving on to Tolsimir, Midnight's Light. It's 2, a green and 2 white for a 3/2 legendary creature Elf Scout. It's got lifelink. It says when Tolsimir Midnight's Light enters the battlefield, create Voja Fenstalker, a legendary 5/5 green and white wolf creature token with trample. And it says whenever a wolf you control attacks, if Tolsimir attacked this combat, target creature an opponent controls blocks that wolf this combat if able. So basically this card just says, here's my token, deal with it.
So this is not the first time we've gotten a version. I don't know if it actually is Tolsimir in each version of this, but like I remember there is an elf that makes a wolf, and it's from Ravnica. And every time I look at it, I was like, that's not impressive. And then my opponents play it against me and absolutely steamroll me. So I'm done saying that this card is not good. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go out. I'm going to say this card is going to kill me many, many times because I'm not going to take the token seriously, and it's just going to absolutely wreck me.
You should take
5
a
mana
10.
for 8 power.
Yeah. You should take a 5/5 seriously, David.
Yeah.
Look, I don't even know if it always is like a 5/5 wolf. It might be smaller than that. I don't know. I just know that every time somebody does it, I was just like, it's just a small little elf and a token. How bad can this be? And then I lose.
Well, it seems
And
relevant
then I
in
lose.
limited. Is that
Oh,
what
it's really good in
Yeah.
limited.
So it
Oh,
seems
yeah.
good and relevant in limited. I don't know about. Would you play it in standard, Hunter?
To be determined.
To
I
be
mean-
determined.
This is kind of removal because you can force their block.
True. True.
Yeah.
And your 5/5 does have trample, so it's
And I
still
did
probably
mention
getting
already,
through.
I did mention Innistrad is still around. We have plenty of wolves and werewolves.
Bump up the team.
Yeah, there we go. I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Trostani 3 Whispers. It is a green or white, and a white for a 4/4 legendary creature dryad. It's got an ability where you could pay 1 and a green that says target creature gains death touch on turn. Another ability where you could pay either a green or white to target creature gains vigilance till end of turn. And it has another ability where you can pay 2 and a white, target creature gains double strike till end of turn.
Wow.
All of the abilities.
Yeah. 3 mana 4/4.
This likes mana.
Yeah.
This
Does
likes
like mana.
mana, yeah. Good thing it's green.
Part green. Yeah. This
Mhm.
seems like a good card.
Spoiler alert, this was the murderer.
Whoa. Well,
She ain't got legs.
Yeah, but it's a plant, dude. It's everywhere.
Murdered.
Murdered by plants. What is this? The happening?
Real talk, why'd the plant ladies do it?
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, like you're dropping bombs on me here, okay? The Selesnya are always supposed to be like peaceful and like vegan, and now they're out here killing people.
Yeah, because they were
Yeah, I
disrupting
can't-
the
I can't-
nature.
I can't remember. Yeah, they were most
They were only going
affected
after.
by the war.
There you go. People that were like assisting the Phyrexia war somehow.
I'm hurt.
They didn't like it.
I do like how on turn 4 you swing in with a 4/4 with vigilance and double strike, though.
That's true.
You could do that, absolutely. Yeah, that'd be wild, Dave. I don't know. Trostani, pretty powerful in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Hunter
I
likes this card.
like it as a commander as well.
Oh,
This is you can get out of hand very quickly, giving all your things death touch.
agreed.
So, hey, and just 1 mana just gives things vigilance. That's pretty good too.
Yep.
Moving on to a brand new Planeswalker. She still has her spark. It's Kaya, Spirit's Justice. It's 2, a white and a black for starting loyalty of 3 that has a passive ability on it that says whenever 1 or more creatures you control and or creature cards in your graveyard are put into exile, you may choose a creature card from among them. Until end of turn, target token you control becomes a copy of it, except it has flying. It has a +2 that says Surveil 2, then exile a card from a graveyard. Got a +1 that says create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying, and it has a -2 that says exile target creature you control. For each other player, exile up to 1 target creature that player controls. I think it's pretty solid. That passive ability also very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put something in the graveyard that is nice and big, and you make a clue into that giant thing and swing in.
You have to exile it, though.
I know. Just use plus
+2.
+2. That's it.
It's very true. She can protect herself pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, if you have the tokens there already, I don't know. She generates a token for you as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this card. I feel like she probably is just innately very powerful because it's a way for you to like kind of pseudo do reanimation.
Yeah.
But it is only until end of turn.
True. It's like
I'm
a
gonna
say
one-time
she's good.
animation. Yeah.
I think it's
I
very
think
good.
she's good too.
I think she's very good for
Very good.
4
Sorry, very
mana.
good.
A 4 mana walker. that has 2+ abilities.
Oh, and a static.
Yeah. I like it. Kaya, still good. Moving on to another Boros card. It's pretty good in my opinion. It's Warleader's Call. 1, a red and a white for an enchantment that says creatures you control get +1/+1. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield under control, Warleader's Call deals 1 damage to each opponent. We got Impact Tremors with an Anthem.
That's really good.
This is going into my Nayali deck.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, dude. Tokens. Not only every time a token comes in, it's going to deal damage to each opponent, but they're getting that buff as well. This
Yeah.
card is bananas.
This card is pretty good.
Pretty solid. I'm a little disappointed that it's Boros and not just mono red because, well, Impact Tremors needs more help.
Oh,
But-
does it?
Well, yeah,
He wants
dude.
to put Impact Tremors in everything, okay? David
I
loves
mean,
that
look, Nor the Wary is a super fun deck, and this can't go in that, and that's kind of a problem. I think it might be a design mistake.
Yeah, it might be.
card. This is the perfect design. I like this a lot.
Yeah, good card. Good,
Let's
I
move
think.
on to... Sorry, what'd you say?
I said good card. Good, I think. Yeah.
Let's move on to a new card type? Subtype, I guess. It's Case of the Ransacked Lab. It is 2 and a blue for an enchantment case. Well, it says instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. To solve, you've cast 4 or more instant and or sorcery spells this turn. If unsolved, solve at the beginning of your next end step. And solved, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, draw a card. So basically, it's kind of like leveling up. You got to get that stipulation to solve. So at the end step, if it sees that you've solved like 4 more instant or sorcery spells this turn, then it's solved and it has that static enchantment of whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you draw a card for the rest of the game. So
Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool card type and pretty cool card. Even if you haven't
Yeah,
solved it, this card's nuts.
it is insane.
Yeah.
This makes me think, like, is this good enough for, like, Arclight Phoenix Tax?
Maybe.
It's
I don't know.
3 mana, so it's kind of expensive, but, like, being able to just cheapen all of your things is pretty solid, although actually probably not super relevant because the deck already runs, like, really low stuff. But, I mean, like, if you can solve that, ooh, boy, that is really powerful.
Yeah. Every card cantrips.
Yeah.
Hello.
Storm, baby.
Yeah. I like this card
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, I figured you would, Mr. Blue Player. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, David's not a blue player, and he likes it too.
I like blue.
I mean, David, I'm
He
not,
likes
he's a blue
blue.
player. Never mind.
Look, every
So does
color is
Steven.
good except for white and green.
Yeah, okay. Let's go on to a green card then, Dave. It's Axebane Ferox. I think that's how you say that, right?
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
definitely go with Ferox, but you do, dude.
Moving on to a green card. Axebane Ferox. It's 2 and 2 green for a 4/4 creature beast. It's got Death Touch and Haste, and it has Ward Collect 4 Evidence. I mean, wait, what? I said that
Collects
wrong.
evidence for ?
Moving on to another card. It's Axebane Ferox. It's 2 green for a 4/4 creature beast. It's got Death Touch and Haste, and it has Ward Collect Evidence 4. I feel like that might be... We just keep getting different wards ever since Ward, and this one seems to be the toughest to get around.
Well, we've seen the
I
one
don't
that's
know.
like get rid of
Gifted.
a legendary or something. So that's a little.
Yeah, it was
I
like
think
a.
that- I think that would have been easier. This is
Maybe?
collect like I don't know. To target this, you need to exile 4 mana value from your graveyard or greater.
See, that's the thing though. Do you need to target this?
Death Touch and Haste.
I mean, it's
You
just a
don't.
4/4.
It's a 4/4. Yeah, it's
What if-
it's
Bro.
cute.
In
What if it's bumped
2024, dude, this is almost vanilla.
I was gonna say like this is not questing beast, and like my expectations are so much higher.
I like this card a lot.
Let's you put the
It's
pants
cool.
on.
It's not a bad card. I don't actually think that Collect Evidence 4 is going to be like as impactful because I don't think that the ward on this is as impactful. I don't think that this is a creature that your opponent is going to look at and be like, that needs to die right now or I'm in a lot of trouble.
Well, I'm being limited.
True. Do you think, because this is the only one we've seen so far, will Ward Collect Evidence pop up again later in the spoiler season?
I'd imagine.
Yeah.
It's possible. I do like Ward as a mechanic because of how open-ended it is and how you can incorporate pieces from like different set mechanics into it. So maybe.
Like case in point right here.
Moving on to another card. It's Aurelia's Vindicator. It's 2 and 2 white for a 4/2 creature angel. It's got flying, it's got lifelink, it's got ward 2, and it has disguise X3 and a white. What is disguise? Well, disguise is like another morph mechanic, similar to cloak, kind of. You can pay 3 to flip this card face down, and then you can pay its disguise cost to flip it back up. It says when Aurelia's Vindicator is turned to face up, exile up to X other target creature cards from the battlefield and or creature cards from graveyards. And then it also says the sad part is when this leaves, return the exiled cards to their owner's hands. So luckily it doesn't go back to the battlefield, which is neat. But at the same time, they still get their stuff back.
Well, that's only assuming that you're targeting opponent's things, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could target your own stuff in your graveyard that you wanted
Yeah.
back in your hands. It's very
You can
true.
do that sometimes, you know. Not all. I mean, I'm not saying it's a great play, but it's a play.
Help.
What
Help
were you
me
gonna
out
say?
here. Why does this have an X in the disguise cost?
Because
you
there's an
can
X in the
target
ability.
up to X things, Dave.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was so wrapped around, like, why do I need an X to flip this? I was like, I don't even know if I read the rest of the card.
That
I'm
takes
over
you
here and I'm
stop.
trying to do the mental gymnastics. I'm like, do I have to pay the X of like the mana cost of like this card? Or like, does the disguise just do something? There's too many morph
The
based
disguise
mechanics.
does do
X
something.
target.
You're right.
Yeah, X targets there, Dave.
I don't like morph-esque mechanics.
Clearly.
Yeah. It's okay. I think this card's pretty good.
It's an angel
flying
hunter.
lifelink. It is an angel. I don't know if it would go into a deck of mine, but maybe.
Here's a question: with the disguise keyword,
Mhm.
am I able to just from my hand put it face down on the battlefield?
Yes, for 3
Yeah.
mana.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's the
I think I might have
disguise.
just not listened to you say that. Sorry.
Yeah, you didn't. Let's move on to analyze the pollen. 1 green mana for a sorcery that says as an additional cost to cast this spell, you may collect evidence 8. Search your library for a basic land card. If evidence was collected, instead search your library for a creature or land card. Reveal that card, put it in your hand, then shuffle. That's an expensive collect evidence.
I like the versatility though. Hear me out, because you can get the basic land. It's still only 1 mana, but later in the game, if you have 8 worth of things in your graveyard, now you can just go tutor up a creature.
It's true.
Seems good.
I think a single mana to go find a basic land is probably fine, and the
Mhm.
upside on this actually makes it possibly good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Look at that. You guys like it.
Yeah, we do.
I'm not in love with it. It doesn't put the basic land into play. It puts it in your hand.
True.
Yeah. 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 I mean, if you ran out of lands, it'd be great to go get one.
Yeah. Hey, you won't miss your land drop turn too.
Yeah, okay. However, no, that's not. I don't know. Because if you do this on turn 1, assuming that you're on the draw.
Okay.
You draw a card, you play a land, you pay for this, and then you replace this with a basic land.
Yeah, maybe you're like Honey,
Sure.
you get to 1 land hand. I don't know.
All right, whatever. This card is still fine.
I think it's fine as well.
I think it's fine as well.
How do we feel about this next one? It's no witnesses. 2 white. For sorcery, each player who controls the most creatures investigates, then destroy all creatures.
It's a good
No.
board wipe.
It's a board wipe, but it's better if you were the player that had the most creatures. Otherwise,
Well,
you're
yeah.
giving.
You're,
I mean,
no. 4 mana is kind of like we've got a lot of competition for 4 mana board wipes. I think we're hitting a point where it's like 4 mana is probably too late. And this one has like upside most of the time, I feel like, for your opponent. So no.
yeah, I guess you're kind of right.
It does give your opponent's card draw.
I don't know. I don't imagine there's going to be very many scenarios where it's like, hey, I know I have a better board state than you, but you know what would be really good right now? Let's board wipe and restart those.
Hey, but you get a clue, David.
You're right.
You do get a clue. Congratulations. Let's go and move on to Homicide Investigator. It's 1 and a black for a 2/2 creature human detective. It says whenever one or more non-token creatures you control die, investigate. This ability triggers only once each turn. We have a black bear.
It is a bear. Triggers once a turn.
Triggers once a turn.
No shenanigans, Dave.
Sorry,
It's
Dave.
also non-token creature too, so like you actually have to have a real thing die.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's not horrible, but
Investigating a bit of homicide, you know what I mean?
It's not bad.
No.
It's not great.
I could see you definitely putting in this in an aristocratic style deck, right? It won't go
In-
crazy, but
Like in standard, I don't
well, I mean,
think this does it. And then outside of standard, this is way too slow. Like the fact that it's just like the clue and then you have to pay later on, I don't think this is playable outside. You know what?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? This might be really solid and limited. Now that I'm looking at this, it's just like a way for you to be able to replace your creatures. That seems like a really good effect for me, where I'm like able to sink that extra mana because I built my deck poorly and I have like 9 lands in play and I just can't draw another creature. Like this will help me out.
Well, maybe if you didn't do it poorly, maybe this is an archetype in limited, David. You never know.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. We will move on to the green bear. It's Sharp-Eyed Rookie. It's 1 and a green for a 2/2 creature human detective. It's got vigilance, and it says whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if its power is greater than Sharp-Eyed Rookie's power, or its toughness is greater than Sharp-Eyed Rookie's toughness, put a +1/+1 counter on Sharp-Eyed Rookie and investigate. This one's better.
This one's much better. This one's much better.
Is this just evolve with investigate?
I mean, you have to
Hey,
pay for evolve,
don't
don't you?
question me. All right, Dave. Jeez.
This is good. This is real good.
This is real good.
This is
Yeah, dude. It's a small creature that easy to get in play and just grows.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know? Like you don't like the card, or you just don't know?
I just don't know.
Oh well, I know.
I mean,
Pretty good.
okay. Sorry, let me say it again. It's a great card. I like this card
Okay,
a lot.
okay.
There is a lot of fluctuation there between I don't know and this card is great.
We got him to turn.
You got me. Congratulations.
You like this card, Hunter? You're gonna play it. You're gonna see it play it a lot.
I do, yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the brand new land cycle. That's right. We've got new dual lands. We're only going to be talking about one since they're all exactly the same. So there are 10 of them, but the one on the screen you see is Undercity Sewers. It's a land, but it's an island swamp as well. So that's what's also unique. Each dual land also has its subtypes. You can tap this to add a blue or black. It enters the battlefield tapped, and when it enters, you surveil 1. Are these good enough to see play, David?
Absolutely not.
Just
No.
because they enter tapped?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. The fact that these enter tapped, I'm not here for it. These remind me a lot of the temples from Theros, and I don't like those cards. Surveil and Scry, it's way too similar. I don't think the upside is here for it.
But
nope.
They are fetchable.
I don't
Yeah.
care. It enters the battlefield tapped 100% of the time.
Hear me out, David. Hear me out. They're bad turn 1, but when you play fetches in EDH, most likely you're have it come in tapped and then you untap it. So it might not be that bad.
No, normally I go off and I shock myself
No,
and then I do something.
I would say like 30% of the time with you if you're doing like a combo thing. Like,
no,
so you put it there.
Even I don't want this card on turn 1. I don't want this card on turn 5. I don't think there is a turn where I look at this and I say, that is the land that I wanted to have. This card
if you're doing graveyard shenanigans, I think it would be.
I still don't think so. I mean, like even with the graveyard shenanigans, it's like I will on very rare occasion play the lands that tap for 2, the bounce lands. And that is just on the very rare occasion, like, okay, I have one on turn 2, and I haven't maybe played a 1-drop, so that way I can like pitch a card from my hand to the graveyard. Even then, it really requires a lot for me to even just like do that.
Right.
I don't think that this card is good.
Yeah. I was just trying to be devil's advocate, but I unfortunately don't like this cycle either.
Yeah. We'll see, I guess. Who knows? I honestly don't even think it'll see play in standard unless there's some weird wonky combo going in.
Yeah,
But
why? Like
I
you
love
said,
how
dude.
disappointed you are here.
Well, we want
as,
good
as
land
you're
cycles.
trying, as
I'm
you're trying to
trying
like
to sell it.
persuade me.
Okay, I'm trying to sell it, and it's not working. Let's move on. We're gonna move on to a reprint that you really like. It is
All
called
right, sell me on this
Assassin's
one.
Trophy. It's Assassin's Trophy. Okay.
Ooh,
For those that are new to Magic, Assassin's Trophy is a very
good
popular card.
Yeah.
It is green and it's Assassin's Trophy. It's black and a green for an instant. It says destroy target permanent an opponent controls. Its controller may search their library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle.
Not much to
Guess
say here,
what?
dude.
You can go
You can go
not
get one of those.
You cannot because it's not basic.
Oh,
So
you cannot.
you can go get those.
Wait, you can or can't?
And you can't.
No, you can't. It's not a basic land. It has a basic land type, but it's not a basic land. Assassin's Trophy is phenomenal. I'm glad it's got a reprint. I remember when this card first got spoiled, the first go around, and I'm pretty sure I texted you guys, and I was like, guys, they just broke Golgari.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they broke it.
This card's
I don't
great.
know. I think it's gonna see. Obviously, there's right now there is a Golgari deck in standard. This just makes it better. So
Yeah, 100%.
Assassin's Trophy. It's a reprint. We know about it. It's a good card. Good.
Yep.
Let's move on to some pre-release exclusives. What's that, you say? What's a pre-release exclusive? Well, you can only find these next 3 cards in pre-release packs, but guess what? You can't use them in your pre-release, and they're still standard legal. You're welcome.
I hate that so much. Everything about what you just said.
Yeah.
Am I guaranteed to open one of these?
Guaranteed to get 1 out of 3.
Here you go.
Can only find.
They just want you to play pre-release, dude. That's it. Makes sense.
Yeah, and apparently these 3 cards have something to do with the
Secret.
meta secret thing that's they're doing. But this first one, Melek, Reforged Researcher. It's 3, a blue and a red for a star legendary creature, Weird Detective. It's Melek Reforged Researcher's power and toughness are equal to twice the number of instant and sorcery cards in your graveyard. The first instant or sorcery spell you cast each turn costs 3 less to cast.
At least it's not pushed.
You
I mean, it's a big dumb beater that just does
costs
something crazy.
3 less to cast seems pretty good.
I like it.
I mean,
it's kind of weird though.
You see that, dude? It's a weird detective. That's good, man. I like that.
This does make my brainstorm only cost 1.
Yep. It does cost 5 to get into play.
Yep.
But,
good card, good.
Yes, good card.
Yeah, it's a good card. The cost
card,
reduction of 3 is massive.
Yeah.
And
Another
twice the
one
number of
that you
instants, dude. Whew.
Yeah. Another one that you can only find in the pre-release kit is Tomek, Wielder of Law. 1, a white and a black for a 2/4 legendary creature human advisor. It's got affinity for planeswalkers. Means this spell costs 1 less to cast for each planeswalker you control. It's got flying and vigilance, and it says whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and or planeswalkers you control, that opponent loses 3 life and you draw a card.
Super Friends?
This is the one I'm going to open.
Friends. Yeah. Now, fun fact.
Poor Dave.
Good thing if you had 1 planeswalker, the initial cost is just 1 less, because that's all it can be. But that commander tax, that gets
True.
cheaper.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like him.
You don't. I mean, yeah, he's not fantastic, but yeah.
The artwork is really cool, like riding in on a gargoyle. That's awesome, dude. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
It's just like the rest of the card.
Yeah.
We should drain
It's an interesting
every
one.
opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's like a little pillow for you. It's like, don't attack me. And like
True.
standard, yeah, you know what? 3 life is quite a bit, and you are going to draw a card on it. Yeah, I just don't see this outside of that, and I don't think I see this in standard.
I mean, 1 planeswalker, like Hunter said, it only costs 2 for a 2/4 flying vigilance.
It's cheap to begin with. This thing costs 3.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's upside if you're playing with planeswalkers. Like, There might be a world this goes somewhere in like a slow late game. I don't know, whatever.
Slow, late game, maybe
Well, it's not
mid
slow. It's
game.
weird. I don't even know. I said slow, but then I said that it was only 2 mana. Not really sure what I'm trying to say about this card.
Yeah. It's crazy that it is a promo card that's legal for standard play, but not playable with pre-release. Why does that make sense?
Well, pre-release is a different beast. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Sure. We'll go with that. We'll go with the last one now. The last one, guess what? We had a token of it. Now it's an actual card. It's Voja, Jaws of the Conclave. It's 2, a red, a green, and a white for a 5/5 legendary creature wolf. It's got Vigilance, Trample, and Ward 3. And it says whenever Voja Jaws of the Conclave attacks, put X +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, where X is the number of elves you control. Draw a card for each wolf you control.
Cards doing so many different weird things.
I like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So are
there
we
you
building
go,
elf
Dave.
or are we building wolf?
Yes.
Both.
Got
Exactly.
it. Got it.
How many elf werewolves are there? That's the real question. Okay, just get both.
Don't know if there's that many.
I don't think there's any at all, but that doesn't matter. I love this card actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
It's pretty
It's actually
cool.
pretty good. I mean, as a Naya player, pretty good.
Bumps
also
up
like
the
the
team and
art for it.
draws. Ooh.
The fires in the front of the wolf there, totally unrelated, but it reminds me of like the Lion King. You know, the climax of the movie whenever Mufasa goes to go.
Tell me that this artwork doesn't look like Legolas back there,
I thought it was,
completely-
dude. I was gonna make a comment.
huh?
Hunter just completely ignored your Mufasa story, dude.
Yeah,
Like-
I heard the Mufasa, but I went straight to Legolas. Okay.
I mean, he's over here in Helm's Deep, dude. He's looking at the archways in the background.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect. But yep, those are the 3 exclusives to pre-releases. Go out and get those and build a deck around them. Or just buy them as singles. Probably easier. Moving on to the precons. We got the face commanders for each deck. The first is helming the deck called Deadly Disguise. It's called Cost, Eyes of the Glade. It is red or white and a green for a 2/2 legendary creature Dryad Detective. It says whenever a creature you control that was turned face up this turn deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Has another ability we can tap it, turn target face down attacking creature you control face up. It's kind of like ninjutsu, where you're like, surprise! You're getting attacked with this instead.
Yeah, but ninjutsu is like the substitution from like somebody's hand.
Very true.
Yeah, I understand that.
I think Hunter's just saying that the
I'm just more
surprise
of like,
of it.
surprise!
It's 2 mana, and at that, I can't say anything negative.
It's also flexible with the hybrid mana there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm here for the card. It's very cheap, which means it's gonna sit around forever and be very relevant.
Yeah, I'm very here for the card too.
2
This
mana,
looks
but
like a lot of fun.
3 colors.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah, dude.
shenanigans, dude.
Yeah, we'll see who gets this one, who builds it. That's right. We will be doing the $100 and $300 upgrades, of course. The next deck is called Revenant Recon. It is Dimir. It's helmed by Mirko, Obsessive Theorist. It's 1, a blue and a black for a 1/3 legendary creature Vampire Detective. It's got flying and vigilance. It says whenever you surveil, put a +1/+1 counter on Mirko, Obsessive Theorist. It also says at the beginning of your end step, you may return target creature card with power less than Mirko's from the graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. What? Finality counters? Yeah, they're the things we just saw in Lost Caverns of Ixalan. They're already back. Doing the same thing that kind of the pirates did.
Yep.
I have a theory here, dude.
What's your theorist theory?
My theorist theory is that they're always going to do some kind of graveyard shenanigan, dude. We saw the enchantments do it. We saw the pirates do it. We saw the knights do it. There's always going to be one deck that just is breaking the graveyard somehow, and this is the deck.
Yeah, this is a good card.
Good card.
It's a very good card.
It is a good card. I feel like from a design standpoint, gosh, this sucks.
Well, because it's too good.
Well, it's just like it is like if you liked the pirate deck from the last one, go pick this up because the play pattern is probably going to be identical. I think this one might actually be better because it doesn't have like a creature type restriction to it.
You are gonna have to build around Surveil because this doesn't actually proc itself.
I mean,
No, it doesn't need to.
it
There
needs
are a
stability, yeah.
million ways for you to be able to bump this thing's power, and it just needs to make it to the end step.
I don't know if it's better than the pirates, to be honest.
Yeah, but this doesn't just grab pirates.
I know that, but it has to have
You
power
gotta
less
bump this,
than
boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be very difficult to do.
I don't think it will either,
don't know.
but I'm just saying.
It takes steps though.
Hey, 2024,
Does
the
take
year
steps.
of free spells.
And we'll see. Moving on to the deck called Blame Game. It's helmed by Nelly Borka, Impulsive Accuser. It's 2, a red and a white for a 2/4 legendary creature human detective. It's got vigilance and says whenever it attacks, suspect target creature. Then goad all suspected creatures. And whenever one or more creatures an opponent controls deal combat damage to one or more of your opponents, you and the controller of those creatures each draw a card.
I love this.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, because she's just like, it's you who did it. No, it's you who did it.
You're just a finger pointer, dude.
Just
Yeah.
You're accusing everybody. You did it. You're the suspect. You're the suspect. Now fight each other.
Yeah, I need the finger of goad. Okay, it's just like,
The
finger
finger
you
of
just
goad.
attack.
Yeah, I feel like you would get attacked though, right? If you were accusing everybody.
Hey,
Yeah, you're not gonna be a good person at the table. I'll tell you that right now.
I'm not gonna be getting attacked by whatever I'm goading.
You're gonna be making
true.
everything a suspect, dude.
Exactly. Also, it does draw both you and that other player card, which kind of really sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay though.
I don't know.
It also has to attack it as a 2/4. It's cute with vigilance. This card is not as good as the last one by even a mile.
Yeah. But look. When you're attacking, you're gonna make the creature that could block it unblockable because it's gonna be a suspect. So you're fine.
Mhm.
Oh, you're right. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You know,
make
it's still.
you can make yourself suspects.
I guess.
You know what? I might need to do that immediately with this card
You
so
just
that it
point
can
the-
actually survive combat.
Point the finger back at yourself, David.
I did
You
it.
know what? That's the mystery here. I think I did it.
Moving on to the final face commander of Deep Clue Sea. See what they did there?
I did. Yeah.
It's Morska, Undersea Sleuth. It's green, white, and blue for a 2/3 legendary creature, Vidalcan Fish Detective. Not a merfolk. It says you have no maximum hand size. It also says at the beginning of your upkeep, investigate, and whenever you draw your second card each turn, put 2 +1/+1 counters on Morska, Undersea Sleuth. It's not a merfolk, Shane.
It's not a merfolk. I made that very clear. It's not a merfolk. I don't know how to feel.
We're going to talk more about our commander grades.
I know.
And then, of course,
I
like
know.
the pre-con upgrades. There's a lot that I have to say about this card. This thing's going to get real big.
Oh, I
real
know.
fast.
But it's gonna be a big dumb beater, right? Because it's got no evasion. Well, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but that's my thought so far.
It's wonderful at drawing cards. And
Yeah,
it's
oh, yeah.
pretty good color combination.
Yeah,
Having no max hand size on a commander, really good.
that seems
Really
good.
good.
I'm going to kill this before this player's in step, and they're just going to like watch their entire world end.
And you're gonna be like, oh, it goes
Discard
20
10
cards.
Yeah. I don't know. But once again, like we've alluded to, we will be doing the $100 and $300 upgrades. So if you're not already subscribed, get us to that 10,000 and stay subscribed so you can check out those videos. But let's move on to a couple cards, specifically the Clue Edition. That's right, we've got exclusive cards coming from the Clue Edition of this set. This first one is Lavinia, Foil to Conspiracy. It's 1, a whiter blue, and a whiter blue. For a 2/3 legendary creature human detective. It's got vigilance. It says whenever you cast your second spell each turn, investigate. It also has another ability where you can tap it to add 2 colorless mana, activate only during an opponent's turn. How often are you using colorless mana on an opponent's turn? I mean, I guess you could use it to sack those clues.
I mean, yeah. feel like it's
You
a
don't-
pretty strong card, dude.
Yeah, this actually I think is pretty solid. I mean, any of your instants or any ability that maybe you have to sink some mana into, like tapping for 2 is pretty powerful.
You know, blue is known to be a pass-go color, David. Now you just got 2 free mana? I don't know.
It is pretty sweet.
I don't
Huh.
like the fact there's a big C on this card, but I do like this card.
Very anti-clue, are you?
I don't know.
He's allowed to have his things. I have about 1 million.
Yeah.
That's true. And the final card we're talking about is Mastermind Plum. It's 2 and a black for a 2/2 legendary creature, human wizard. It says whenever it attacks, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. If an artifact card was exiled this way, create a treasure token. And whenever you cast a spell, if mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, you draw a card, lose a life. Also a very good card, Dave, right?
Dude, that second ability there, like the first ability, I'm like, okay, you know what? This is like, it's fine. That second ability, oh my God, that is powerful.
See, but are you stoked that it's
Mono-black,
coming from
too.
Clue, dude?
I don't care.
You don't care it's Universe Beyond.
Well, this is not one of the hills that like I have a problem dying on. It's like here's my thing. Magic the Gathering is a game. Clue is a game. Warhammer is a game. So like I'm cool with that. When we start reaching over into Fortnite and Fallout and
Those are games.
all these
Those are
other
games.
things, it's a video game. It's different for me. Or whenever we go over into like The Walking Dead, it's like okay,
How about
well,
the Lord
you
of
know
the
what,
Rings?
like, meh.
Those are games somewhere.
Yeah, okay. You know, even the Lord of the Rings, like I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan.
I know you are.
Which makes it okay for me because of
my
my own personal bias.
That's exactly right. Oh man, that's perfect, David. Yeah, Mastermind Plum, I think it's a pretty good card,
Yeah,
and I
sorry.
think
Yeah.
I'm interested to see the rest of the cards from Clue. Let's see. I don't know. We'll give our grades on those two, of course. But that is going to do it for us today. If you liked that video, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Once again, I'll reiterate, almost at 10,000. By the time you're watching this, we could be at 10,000. That'd be cool. But yeah, also on the screen, you'll see all of our Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys all so much for your support. If you guys want to join them, check the description for a link to our Patreon account. Also in the description, you will find links to all of our other social media accounts. That's Instagram, that's Twitter, that's TikTok, especially on Instagram during the time of year. It is spoiler season, so we post all of the commons and uncommons, not just the rares we talk about in these videos. So if you want to check out all the cards, check out our Instagram. And until the next video, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.
Later.
Bye-bye.